That's right, Kelvin. They are hoping to get some very important test results back as soon as next week. Now, the environmental damage because of the scale and scope of the Palisades fire is really uncertain at this point, which is why scientists like from Heal the Bay have been doing testing along our beaches since January to see exactly what could be washing up into the ocean. And with more rain on the way, they fear that more harmful chemicals will make their way to the coast. Take a look.
Scientists from Heal the Bay have been testing water quality since January, hoping to understand the impact of the Palisades fire on our coastal waters. Dr. Tanya Pineda says the fire has introduced unprecedented amounts of pollutants into the ocean, everything from wildfire debris to fire-suppressant chemicals.
We're just going to understand what else the water samples is telling us about, like, what has happened.
Today, the team is testing for fecal bacteria. Meanwhile, they're still awaiting results from January when they tested multiple sites for pollutants from the fire, things like heavy metals, PFAS, and benzene. Everything
that you have in your house, plastics, and the refrigerator, dishwasher, I mean, your battery in your car, like everything is just completely burned down. Then everything stays in the soil, in the ground, and then the rain starts, and everything is just washed out directly to our storm drain and directly to the ocean.
To track contamination, researchers tested water samples before and after the first major rain event of the year. And since the Palisades fire, several storms have increased the risk of pollution runoff. At Will Rogers State Beach, data analyst Naomi Maurice recalls what she saw while collecting samples.
When we tested right after the rains, there were like some pretty big pieces of ash that you could really see in both the sample bottles and just when you're looking down at the water.
Even though the fire broke out 2 months ago, testing continues. The data will help inform public health advisories, guide policy decisions, and protect marine ecosystems. While the long-term ecological impact remains unknown, researchers hope their findings will shape future wildfire response and coastal resilience strategies.
We are going to be all helping to understand what are going to be the long-term effects of all these pollutant toxins. The aquatic life is going to be affected, the kelp, everything. We are trying to get as much data to understand, because right now we don't know.
And with wildfires becoming more frequent and intense, this research could be key to protecting our coastline for years to come.
Now, Kelvin, Heal the Bay says that each time it rains, we can expect to see pollutants flow towards the ocean, at least until vegetation grows back into the soil.
Well, you know, speaking of that soil, I know that they don't necessarily have the answers right now, Sarah, but what are they expecting to see when they get these results from the testing?
Well, it does take extensive data. There is a lot to mine through, but there really is no baseline for what has occurred here with the Palisades fire. They have had to look to extra data sets, things like calling Hawaii when the fires ripped through Lahaina to see the types of testing and pollutants they found. So hopefully they can start to build really a case study here and see what type of pollution levels are considered harmful for human and marine health.